So how did you start your business in marketing, and why did you go into that industry?
So I never started as a marketer. I started as the business owner first. So I came from running club nights and things. So what I did was I put on Scotland's biggest ever fitness event. It was called the SFN Expo. We had thousands of people come from all over Europe every year to this event. That was just one weekend per year. I ran it for 5 years before selling it, and yeah, I went into that. Uh, and signed my life away for something in the region of $200,000 or $300,000 in the first year before I'd sold a ticket or a single exhibition stand. And I got that punch in the face that a lot of people get when they start their first business. They imagine that everybody will be as excited as they are about the ideas that are in their head. And I realized very quickly that it's not as simple as that at all. But I had huge liabilities that if I didn't sort this out quickly, I was going to be declaring bankruptcy when I was about 20 years old. So I had to act pretty quick, and I realized what I needed to do was learn marketing to an advanced level as quickly as physically possible. And so if I wasn't on the phone selling, or I wasn't, actively doing the marketing for the event that was coming up, I would be learning. So I was spending every other waking hour just trying to absorb as much information as possible and the next day implementing it. And we got to the first show. We had sold out all the stands. We had a few thousand people come to the first show, which was awesome. We were almost at break even, which was a really good start for the show. And it just lit this fire under me. And I realized the more I know it's a like sort of cheesy quote, but the Warren Buffett one of the more you learn, the more you earn. And I was like, man, there's so much information out there. If I can just get hold of the best information, I'll go through it with a fine tooth comb. I'll implement everything. And we ended up growing that company really, really well and selling it 5 years later. And it just sort of spiraled that uh, a lot of people had, just through word of mouth, found out that I had done it in the most unorthodox way. All exhibitions that you see out there in the big exhibition centers, they are doing magazine ads, they're doing radio advertising, they're doing television advertising, all these hugely expensive things that are extremely hard to track. I ran it almost solely with organic social media, email marketing, and Facebook ads. And so word of mouth got around about that. And somebody asked me, well, we've got a gym opening up. Can you do a Facebook ad campaign for us? And this is a funny story behind this one actually. At that point, I was like, oh man, I do not want to take this on. Like, I'm totally fine testing out things with my own money. I do not want to spend somebody else's. But I had just met my now wife at that point. So I had met her about 6 months earlier. We'd got really, really close. And it was coming up for Christmas. And she had said to me, so this was like in the year two as well. I actually ended up overlapping, by the way, between doing marketing for companies and running this event. So this is going into year two of this event. And so she ended up breaking down in tears one night, right? We're like having dinner and she broke down in tears. I was like, I have no idea what I've done here. Turned out she was just really, really upset because she hadn't seen her family since the previous Christmas. And so she was just, I haven't seen my family in so long. I really miss them and everything. And I was in my head thinking, like, that this is the woman for me. Like, I know I'm going to be marrying this woman. So I want to give her the best Christmas present ever. I want to take her to New York. Okay. But at that time, new business, we ended up having a slight loss after the first year. The next show isn't for another like 7 months. So ticket sales and stuff hadn't even gone out yet. So I wasn't sitting with lots of money in the bank account at all. And so I was like, right, I need to price this whole thing up. And I priced it up, and it was about £3,000 to get the flights, to get the accommodation, to get spending money for the entire thing. It was about £3,000. So I went back to the company and I said, yep, I can do it. I'm going to need you to put up £4,000 for the Facebook ads, and then my fee for running this is going to be 3,000. And so I just quoted it at what I needed to take her back to her parents. And they accepted it, and we ended up spending their £4,000 on ads, and we brought in £298,866. And that just created this word of mouth buzz. Weirdly, I never had to run a Facebook ad for my own Facebook ads business. It just was word of mouth until it was packed out. And I did that for the next 4 years until I sold the company and then went into the coaching
So
space.
now why did you sell the company? Just curious. Like why not just continue to run that business? Why get rid of it?
So, probably two big reasons. First of all, it was the most stressful thing that you could ever come across. Running large scale events, man, the pressure on you from start to finish of that year is just absolutely insane. It is something that you put a lot of money up front into to book everything for the next year. And the majority of your ticket sales, strangely, are going to come in the sort of 72 hours coming up to the show. So you're walking into a show every single year that needs somewhere in the region of 10,000 people coming to it, with probably something in the region of 2,000 tickets sold with 72 hours to go. And you're just praying that everything is going to work out every time. The stress of it was insane. The time commitment of it was absolutely insane. And the marketing stuff was what lit me up. It was so enjoyable, and I was getting paid better to do something that I loved more. So it just made complete sense when the opportunity came up to sell the company. As soon as I was offered it, I barely negotiated on anything. I was just like, let's
Take
make this
it.
happen.
Take it.
It
We'll see
sounds
you
great.
later, man. Hurry up and get the check before they change their mind, right? So,
That was
um,
it.
hey, so what are some of the mistakes that people right now, like, okay, I want you to kind of think about in your mind, right? You know, a young entrepreneur, right? They own a little business. They're in the, let's just call it, insurance business or financial services or something, or maybe even people that are recruiting and trying to grow an organization or whatever, right? Grow their team. Like, what's some of the things that they should be doing? What are some of the mistakes that they're making in your experience?
Well, for the most part, and I stumble upon this a lot of people end up like booking calls with us. They're just not qualified, and it comes under this exact thing of they have just decided one day, I want to be the entrepreneur that's got seven figures coming in. So I'm just going to go for the fastest, easiest way to make it happen. And they get sucked into a lot of systems that are just sometimes unethical, to be honest. And other times they're just either very, very low level products or systems that they want to put together, such as, and I know some people do this really, really well, but so many times people get sucked into the drop shipping world, right? They've never done any marketing before. They don't have any business experience. They don't have any financial experience. They might be starting, in an overdraft, and then they start a drop shipping company, and they can't understand why they aren't making any sales. They haven't brought the skill level up to the point in which they need to be able to actually implement even a drop shipping service. But if I was to say, well, what the solution is there, you either want to be building a product that you want to be selling for a decent amount of time here, or you want to be building yourself up as an asset. So it's either that you are going to be the asset, such as a coach, consultant, service provider, or you want to be creating something that can stand the test of time in the marketplace. Neither of these come overnight, not at all. But they're the thing that has, you and I living really nice lifestyles now. We all had to work hard to make it happen initially. We had to, put the blood, sweat, and tears into becoming skilled. We had to go through tons of challenges, failures, successes, pick out the things that work and the things that didn't. But on the other side of it, we've got not only the experience, but we've got such great stories to be able to tell. To sell the products and services. People know that we've gone through the systems before, anything that they're going to be facing, we've been there a million times before.
So it's kind of like, I mean, they're looking for that get rich thing. That's a huge mistake, right? I mean, people are looking for an easy way to a challenge that could be big, right?
Yeah.
And it could be, it could take time. So, I mean, as far as like, I think, especially in the financial business, because my business is part of financial, I think the biggest challenge is the lead generation. I can't tell you how many thousands and thousands. I mean, I have 1,500 licensed agents in my organization, but I could tell you right now, there's probably 700 of them that just they're failing, not because they're not skilled, they just have nobody to talk to. And so I think one of the biggest challenges with all small entrepreneurs, whether it be somebody opening up a little coffee shop or somebody opening up a little writing business or somebody doing some sort of or investments or insurances and things like that, the biggest challenge that they have is they get up in the morning and they go, what do I do? There's nobody to talk to. And
Yeah.
especially in this day and age with COVID and all the challenges that we're having on that front, it's way more essential to make sure you have a lead generation strategy.
Thank you for watching our short clips on Alonzo Academy. If you'd like to watch the next short clip, click here. If you'd like to watch the entire podcast, click here.